Good morning and welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Tuesday, July 25th, 2023. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds that you can afford to do without. All right, set that in. Please do say hello in the chat. It's the only way I know who's here. Crude had a tough time this morning. We pick up we pick up a long trade, 902.37 setup. That goes for a full stop out, and we pick up a short trade immediately after that that does not stop and reverse. The stop and reverse adjustment would carry us to 54. Key level would carry us all the way to 56, and we never get there until we get over here. So then we do get a full stop out, and that's a second full loss, so that ends the session. Unleaded, on the other hand, picks up the long trade that hits money management but no targets, and we get a partial win there. Then transitions to short, which gives us a very strong trade. 36 for target 1, 56 for target 2, and trailing all the way down to 896 from the entry at 809. Wait a minute. $7,896 from 8,009. So that's 113 ticks on the trailer. So a strong one and done performance, or actually two and done, out of unleaded this morning. Good morning, Miles. Pound Aussie picking up a short, meandered about, finally just went to a full stop out. Risk of 22 ticks, 110 pip loss, unfortunately. Right, so since we're done with unleaded, let's put micro NQ up there. YM just stopped out of a pre-market trade. Market is open. And looks like, yeah, we're in the long on soybeans. And in a long on the Russell. Micro Russell just bouncing off of a session low. YM also bouncing off sufficient low, trying to push up through the 20 SMA, 50 EMA, not really be having success there. There is a possible stop and reverse on soybeans. 11.25. And triggering into the stop and reverse. So our money management then comes to 09.75. Minimum 6 ticks. So actionable target is target 2 positions there. Still waiting for our start time on the micro NQ. Full stop out on the no, I'm sorry. That was a break-even trade on the Russell. Actually, that looks like it was very likely a no trade, got to money management before coming back to the entry, and we had a 8 seconds through the second bar, and then in 3 more seconds to the third, been getting up to money management. That's a no trade, and we now have a short setup. Move it down a tick if you're trading that and didn't get in. It spiked down right to the entry and just went through the stop. So that's another no trade, I would say. We can be sure of that. Put that back to the, and we've got a long trade now. Should be time to have gotten in that. Money management. 76.2 for the stop. Short trade on the pound Aussie. $9.54. For the pound Aussie short. YM in a short trade. I hadn't even talking about that. All right, break-even trade on the Russell. So 2 no trades and a break-even. Short trade on the YM. And the pound Aussie just triggered in. Long trade on the micro Russell. Not triggered in yet. Money management on the Russell. Soybeans hit money management and target 2. So we took 1325 to 2 points, 8 ticks times 4 positions, 32 ticks. Our target 2 there was 8 ticks, 2 positions coming off, that's 16. And then we pick up 2 more ticks on the trailer, 18 ticks. We're still down 14. And we have a new short trade on soybeans. 0975. Winning trade, target 3 achieved on the micro Russell, hitting the session, bumping into the session high. So we've gone from the session low to the session high in about 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Micro NQ setting new session highs. YM did stop out of the short. So YM is down 28 tick risk, down 56. So it's going to have to be a comeback day for several of our markets here. Micro NQ stopping out at break even on that early trade, and we are now in our session. Actually, did we get? Nope, didn't quite get bang. That one was too early. That one didn't get quite back down to our entry, so no trade. And looking for our first trade of the day on the Micro NQ. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Arizona Bob. All right, YM has a long trade. No trigger yet. On the YM. Russell going up through the target 4. It's trailer at 80.9. And the Micro NQ has a Valid short trade. Still valid because it has not hit the entry yet. Soybeans picking up a long trade. Short never triggered in. Pound Aussie setting a new session low. Working to get down to money management. YM long trade is still valid. Russell stopped out at 80.9. Money management and very close to target 1. On the Pound Aussie. Okay. Oh, the long triggered in. On the YM. And almost stopped out. It's coming back up now. Stop at 9.53 on the pound Aussie. YM took another full stop out, just barely triggering into that, but not really any way to avoid that unless you adjust around this spike just ahead of the setup. That got as high as 77, and our setup was at 76. Yeah, 78's reasonable, and that would have kept you out. $78 would have been a good adjustment there. That would keep you out of that long trade. That's one of those cases where looking at too many charts, you don't see everything going on. Long trade on the micro NQ. That went. A long bar there, but wouldn't have brought it back to the entry. So at this point, I would call that a no trade. It's a get in sync. Too fast to have traded initially, and sitting right where it is, that previous swing high at 35.50. I'd put it 35.75 anyway. $75 or even 36.0. Russell with a long trade. Right at session open. And 50 and 200 too. So all of our lines are right there together. Both cat lines, the 50, the 200, the 10, and the 22. Short trade at the full stop. And going short on Micro Russell, that's a full stop out for trade number 2. Actually, that's trade number 4. We had 2 break-evens before the strong winner. And that's going to be another break-even trade in stopping out intra-bar. We got 12. Yep. We got a tick beyond our break-even point, so that is an intra-bar stop out. Soybeans is still in the long trade we triggered into about 8 minutes ago. And the pound Aussie stops out for a break even. That's the second one this morning. actually full loss and a break even. So we pick up 10 ticks. We're down, still down 100, 10 pips rather. All right, pound Aussie hitting the entry, so we are in the long there, or not the pound Aussie, on micro NQ coming down, getting us in sync with the long trade. And micro Russell is flat, 3 break evens and a winner. Actually 3 break evens, a winner and a loser. So one more trade. Micro NQ coming off of a session high. Soybeans testing the 50 and 200. Both there, and looks like a bouncing for the moment. But it's still not sure. Pound Aussie with the long trade set up now. That entry on the pound Aussie probably should go to 57 or maybe even 50. Let's go to 58 with that. Get it around the 20 SMA. That is a chart level adjustment. One of those you have to do with your eyes. All right. Final trade on the Russell this morning. Oh yeah, lots of time to get into that. Long on the Russell. We are still long on the we are long on the micro NQ now, and the pound or soybeans rather. I got the pound Aussie on my mind. Soybeans taking heat. Now it's pushed down through the 200 and the 50. Stop at 0975. And money management on the micro NQ. Micro NQ kind of taking off there. Russell lagging behind a bit. 1535 flat, 15635 flat for the micro NQ. And good morning, Pamela. Missed you back there. Target 2 on the micro NQ. That is a win for our first trade of the morning on the micro NQ. And now we have a stop and reverse short setup at the full stop out. But for the moment, we're still in the long. And I have key levels turned on. 1410 flat would have been a major key level. I'll take major key level adjustments even on the 4-tick, the quarter point markets. Okay, pound Aussie trade canceled. 2 closes below the balance line. Crude 10 a.m. session about to start, and we can get in sync with. Now let's see. No, we're in this. Yeah, we can get in sync with the short if it comes back down. Soybeans still long. Pound Aussie is flat with no trade, and the Russell is a full loss. So 2 losses, 1 win, 3 break-evens on the micro Russell this morning. First trade of the day on the micro NQ, and we're now trailing at 649 1/4. Looking next for target 3. And we get a second full stop out. Actually, yeah, that's our first full stop out, and we are now short. YM not giving us anything new. Pound Aussie with a short trade now. 939. That's going to take money management just shy of target 2. So we'll have 2 positions there. Short trade on crude stopped out. So we're flat there, didn't get into the short. YM setting new session lows. Micro NQ still sitting at session highs. The micro Russell at the session open. So 3 different places in the market. Stop and reverse long filtered out by hybrid mode. Pound Aussie still flat with the short trade 939. Soybeans going back up to the moving averages, but fairly strong rejection at the 20 SMA, it looks like. And the Pound Aussie triggers into the short. And the micro Russell stops out. Trade number 1 in the books is a win. Stopping out at 649 1/4, and now triggering into a short. Definitely triggering in. We're going to have to push through the 50 to get down to target 1, the money management this time. Russell trying to make a bit of a breakout here. Head and shoulders pattern, that actually has gone past the neckline. So that one is looking good at the moment. Stop and reverse at the full stop out on pound Aussie at 57, 957. But for the moment we are still short. All right, looks like the audience has dwindled here, and things are moving slowly. And it looks like things are just going to move slow, slow, slow here. So we'll give it 3 or 4 more minutes and probably call it a morning. I will get my apologies. I haven't gotten this week's session scheduled until just before we started this morning. I'll finish scheduling the rest of the week after we finish. $50 EMA providing resistance and keeping us in the short for the moment on the pound Aussie. $20 SMA coming down through the 50 and 200. So we may see the soybeans push lower here. Or we're seeing it try to push lower anyway. Crude is flat, YM is flat. YM with just 2 trades this morning, both of those losers, unfortunately. Just not any coherent movement in the market at this point. Everything kind of slowing down, going sideways. Micro NQ looking like it is likely to take a loss right here, but has not yet, and is pulling back down, so maybe not. Crude with a long trade. Target 2 and 3 are our actionable targets. Our 10 tick minimum is 1 tick beyond target 1. YM and the Russell pushing up, not boding well for micro NQ. And the YM now approaching its session open. And the micro Russell setting new session highs. Pound Aussie back down around the original, and the stop and reverse has canceled. Back to the original entry point. in the short. And the micro NQ back to its original entry point as well, surviving in the short. Soybeans back up, testing the moving averages for a third time. Crude did trigger in long, 78.86. We got 3 active trades. We'll see if we can't, actually 4. Soybeans is short, micro NQ is short, crude oil is long, and the pound Aussie is short. So all 3 charts along the bottom are short. The pound and crude in the top center is long. And we can still take trades on the YM. Four trades active, a 5th chart still available. And the pound Aussie bouncing up slightly just off its session low again. Micro Russell and the YM turning back downward, and micro NQ is leading the way on that one. Micro NQ coming down, looks like it'll be testing the 50 EMA. Soybeans filtered out another stop and reverse with hybrid mode. And just a messy morning. Money management on crude. Crude breaking above the session open. Target at 79.01. Session high up there at 79.08. And the Micro Russell and the YM both starting now continuing up. And the Micro NQ deciding where it's going. Pound Aussie setting a new session low. And target 2 achieved. On that long trade, this will be a one and done 10 a.m. session, just taking 20 minutes to do it, 20 plus minutes to do it. $15 ticks to target 2. We're now looking for target 3 at 79.08, which is the session high. Yeah, that's probably it. Pamela is exactly right. Pamela says waiting for earnings, and that's just exactly right. We are in the midst of earnings season again. Soybeans breaking out above the moving averages, so this trade taking heat. Pound Aussie getting down to the original target 1, but that's not our money management level. We've got to get down to 927 for money management. And there is a stop and reverse. Mark it out, and it would save you a few ticks. Stop and reverse is right there at 1325. Seven ticks to target 1. But we are not in that trade. If that hits target 1, that trade is off the table. Partial win and 2 solid losers on soybeans this morning. And target 3 achieved, and heading up close to 79.20 now. New session high on crude. That it completes a one and done. 15 and 22, 37 ticks. All right, soybeans is flat now. That hit target 1, so trade is off the table. Soybeans is flat. Micro NQ stopped out of the short for a full loss there. That's flat. So the only active trade at the moment is the Pound Aussie. That's moving slowly, as is everything else. So I believe we've been here just over 55 minutes. I'm going to call it a morning. Not a whole lot to watch this morning. So I'm going to call it a morning. We will see everybody tomorrow for the regular 9:30 session, and then crude oil inventory report at 10:30. Everyone have a good afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:30. You are quite welcome, Pamela.